All right, this came in the mail, and it came in the mail bent. So I don't know if that was due to the mail or just they bent it when they manufactured it. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I think I'll remove that and put one on straight. It's just gonna bug me. It's gonna work fine the way it is, but it's just gonna bug me. So anyway, keeping with all of the attenuators that I've been working on, this is an attenuator, and it's a digital attenuator. I'm not quite sure how they work. I don't know if they're just resistive or they must be. I don't know. These are good to multi-gigahertz, 18 gigahertz or something. I think they go up quite high. I don't remember that. Don't quote me on that. But these are tiny little packages, and they seem to be all over the internet. So they're super cheap. I don't remember what I paid for this one. It's like $6 or something there, maybe $10 or something. So it's input output and then digitally controlled. So it's a 6-bit binary word, and it's I think 1 bit per word. So I think you get 31 dB from 0 to 31 dB, something like that. So that one's kind of cool. One of the reasons I was interested in these chips is it's used. This particular attenuator is used in the tiny spectrum analyzer, the tiny SA, that's about to be released. And so it'd be nice to know how good the attenuator is on that little spectrum analyzer. So I think when they originally prototyped it, they just got one of these off eBay and used it as is. So I could hook up some wires here and make it go, but there's another one you can buy on eBay. Let me show you that one, because it came also. They both came at the same day, so maybe the same seller. And so this is a little, I don't know if it's an Arduino or it's a microprocessor, and it's got a little OLED display on it, but it is the same attenuator chip. But it has drive electronics, and it's got a little display. Well, let's look it up. So it comes with a power cord. It comes with a mini USB. Remember those? Everything went to micro, but I like the mini ones. They're a little more robust. So that goes in there. Now, I'm not too crazy about their location here. Is this in focus? Maybe a little bit better. I'm not crazy about the location here, because now it's going to be hard to remove these little protective caps here. It's going to be hard to put on a connector. There's not a lot of room in there. So, but let me turn it on here so you can see what it does. Oh gosh, I'm going to need an extension here. Let me just a second. All right, I've hooked up the power supply, and it had a short cord, so I had to move things around. So it actually has an on-off switch, and then the little display comes on. Goes by pretty fast here. When you first turn it on, it says made in PLZ. I don't know where PLZ is. ATT version 1.0. Okay, so then it says ATT1 3800-ST1, ATT 0 dB of attenuation. Then if you push there's two buttons here. One says OK, one says plus, and one says minus. So if we hit the OK button, it starts to flash. And then we can push the up button, and it increases, down button decreases. And if we hold it down, it counts. So it goes up to 31 dB. And if we say OK, it stops flashing. So we can go all the way from 31 to 0. So let's put it on 0 dB. Okay. All right. So let's hook this thing up and see what it actually does. Okay, I've got the attenuator hooked up, and it's sweeping right now. It's showing a loss at 0 dB of about, well, let's see here. Let's go to the marker. So That's minus 3.9 at that dip right there. And over here where it's nice, it's like minus 2 dB. So it has some insertion loss. Okay. So let's change the attenuation to, let's say, 10 dB. And there's 10. Oh, that was 11. Oh, shoot. There we go, 10 dB. So I have it set to 10 dB. See if I can keep that from falling. Oh well. 10 dB. And it's measuring about minus 12. So yeah, so about minus 10 from where it started. And let me just set it here. Can you? I just have it sitting down here just so I can, so it won't fall on the ground. That's minus 10. Let's go to minus 15. Oops, I just turned it off. Shoot. Let's see here, let's go to 15 dB. There we go, 15 dB. Let's see if we can do that. And there we go, minus 17. So that's definitely, it's getting a little bit flatter too. So that's minus 15 dB. It's doing okay. Let's go to minus 20. Let's see, I have to push the button, I guess. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. You have to hit OK, otherwise it doesn't update. So minus 21.79, that looks okay. Still a little wiggly here at, where is that? Wiggly out here at 700 megahertz, I mean, 700 megahertz. Okay, let's go to minus 30. Yeah, so, you know, it does what it does. It's pretty accurate. I'd say it's within a dB. And it does have that bump out there. I wanted to see another thing here. When let's set it to minus 10. Okay, so there it is at minus 10. That my scope has to update. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it off. And I want to see what happens when I turn it off. Well, it's getting wiggly. So it seems to want to have power applied. Okay, let's turn the power back on. And does it remember where we are? No, it defaults to 0. When it turns on, it goes back to 0. Pretty wiggly at 0. I'm not really too happy about that 0 dB part. Let's go back to minus 20. So 20 dB. All right, there's minus 20. And then let me turn the power off here. Oh. Yeah, so it floats up. Okay, so definitely still has to have power. So it's not a set and forget. It needs to have power applied all the time. So whatever analog switching that it has inside, it might be pin diode switching or something like that. It needs to have power applied all the time. So cannot use it without power. Oh well, so I'm pretty pleased with it. It's pretty cool. It's a nice little attenuator. I believe it's rated as an input of no more than plus 10 dBm, if I remember that right off the data sheet. In fact, let me grab the data sheet and I'll show you the data sheet for the chip, and you can see what it's supposed to be able to do. All right, here's the data sheet, and obviously it is obsolete. It says replace it with that guy there. So maybe that's why they're so cheap on eBay, or yeah, is that somebody has a stock of these and company's no longer supporting it, so the price just went through the ground. So anyway, this is the part that we're talking about. It says 50 ohms, 6-bit. It's good to 4 gigahertz. Okay, so up to 4 DC to 4 gigahertz. Oh, DC also. That's interesting. So that's cool, knowing that this will operate at DC. It has half dB steps. We're only programming it with 1 dB steps, but it's capable of half dB steps. I'm not sure how that's possible with only a 6-bit input. Let's see here. Insertion loss is 1.5 dB. Accuracy less than a gigahertz is 0.1 dB plus 3% of attenuator settling. Oh, of attenuator setting. Plus 3% of the setting. So I guess if you set it to 10, it's 3% of 10? I don't know. 1 dB compression, input, return loss, 20 dB return loss, that's good. Switching speed, 1 microsecond. Anyway, it is interesting. Like I said, I don't like that bump out at 700. I don't know if that meets the data sheet or not, or whether those are reject parts. But it is a tiny little package, so that's nice. Let's see here. It is made on silicon on insulator on a sapphire substrate. So silicon on sapphire has been around for a very, very long time, offering the performance of gas with the economy and integration of conventional CMOS. Interesting. Yeah. Unique power-up, state selection. So it has a lot of interesting things going on that I don't think are incorporated in this particular little demo. But yeah, anyway, it is obsolete though.